42 people make the Olympics. You were 43rd on the list.
And I knew once I got some consistent training under my belt, we'd be in a really good spot. Nobody's really picking me to win these races. Nobody's picking me to come top 5 in these races. It's kind of a good feeling of going back to being like the hunter, and now I'm racing, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it right now. I never really fully grasped the idea of like how important consistency is. People overestimate what they can do in a season, but they underestimate what they can do in a couple years of consistency. That consistency still carries through to now.
Parker Wolfe, you know this stat, 42 people make the Olympics. You were 43rd on the list. Seems like this summer it's demon time for Parker Wolfe. How do we feel, man?
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I mean, it's been fueling the fire for a while. And now that I got some healthy and consistent training under me, we're finding our feet underneath us. It's been a lot of fun so far.
We're missing our third wing, our third wheel, Ethan Strand. We'll get you both back on the pod
right.
Here soon enough. We got to do a house pod at some point. I got to come down to Flag and make that happen. But one of the things the reason I bring him up is because, so you two, top dogs at UNC, sort of Milt's prodigies after Grant Fisher. You guys are killing the NCAA. And then you make it to the pro world, and it's just a different beast in terms of like, if you're a college kid and you're even in pro races and you're like somewhat in the mix, it's like, oh my gosh, future of pro running. Right. But then you get to pro running and the expectation is like win or bust. What's your sort of take on, you go from top of the NCAA to now competition's way harder, but expectations still stay almost as high?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like for me, it feels like I'm back as a freshman in college. Like, you've got the really established pros that have been there for a while, especially someone on the American side like Grant, and then Andreas Almgren and all these guys that have been around for a while. That their expectation is to win, and I feel like I'm kind of the new kid on the block in the pro world where nobody's really picking me to win these races. Nobody's picking me to come top 5 in these races, and they're just thinking, oh, it'd be nice if he hung on for 5th place, 6th place. So it's kind of a good feeling of going back to being like the hunter and like trying to hunt these guys down, and not a lot of expectation on like I'm supposed to win this one, supposed to win that one, and it's kind of a good feeling. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, talk about expectations, because coming out of the NCAA, you sort of were on top of the world, but then had all the injuries. And so I think you kind of came onto the pro scene with people unsure of where you were at. Where was your head sort of in terms of expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I knew once I got some consistent training under my belt, we'd be in a really good spot. I mean, I've been in sub 13 shape for feels like 2 years now, where I felt like I could have done it. I just needed to get in the right race and be consistently healthy for a period of time. And this year was just that. I mean, that's what Coach Smith and I talked about, was just getting our feet underneath us and just staying consistent for the fall, and we did that, and we raced cross country, raced against World Cross, and just like building strength in each of those races. And so now it's just it's been a lot of fun just going from college, last year being hurt 3 different times, not racing, and now I'm racing, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it right now.
When I brought up sort of the stat of number 43, is that sort of behind you? You're in a different chapter, or do you think back to that day often?
I definitely think back to it. There are times where I'll even watch the race back here and there and just, let it fuel me a little bit. But I mean, for the most part, it's behind me. It was definitely a bummer to miss out on that Olympics. But I think everything happens for a reason. And I learned a lot in the last year of college, where I really wasn't racing at full potential and not really training at full potential. And as much as it sucked, I learned a lot from it. And so to me, that it happens for a reason, and I'm just excited to move forward and with what I've learned from the last year and what I learned from 2024 when I was, at an all-time high, and now going back and first year as a pro and just treating it as an all new experience, and just using the past as like more of like a template, and learning a lot from it. So
rank 1 through 3. What's the hardest to get to the top? And people might assume your answers, but I want to hear them from you. High school, NCAA, pro. What's the hardest to get to the peak?
Definitely pro. Hardest to get to the peak, and then I'd say college, and then high school. I think in high school, if you train and just like put in the work, like you're gonna beat like 99% of people. I think all my friends in high school that were on the team were not putting in the work. They were skipping runs, skipping days. Like it's really easy to be good in high school. Now, I mean, it's changing now a lot more so. I mean, these kids are training hard. Like if they saw what I was doing in high school, I was like skipping up hills, running down hills. Those were like one of our staple workouts was skipping up a hill. It's a very different world now. But still, even then, like you're gonna beat a lot of people by just putting in the work and putting in the hours. And I think in college you could get close doing that, but I think a lot of it is mindset, and then you gotta really be on top of the little things, especially at the top of the NCAA now with all the international talent, all the good Americans that are coming up. I think it's just getting harder and harder at each level to get good. But yeah, definitely pro is the hardest. I mean, it's it's a tough world out there. There's a lot of really good guys, and anybody can win on any day. And it's just it's a different level. It really is.
Do you think you would have gotten to the heights of success that you had in the NCAA had you been in a different training system or had a different coach than Milt?
I mean, I talk about it all the time. I almost committed to Duke when I was getting recruited. I always told Milt that
Really?
because I just thought it was funny. Um, I do think I would have I didn't have a lot of belief in myself that I would have. I hope I would have been able to still be.
No offense to Duke, but I'm surprised. That was not the
I know.
name that I
I
thought was
know.
going to come out
I
of your
know.
mouth.
I know. It came down to like I just really liked North Carolina when I visited, and I really liked, as much as I hate to say it, I liked Duke's campus and I liked UNC's campus, and ultimately made the right decision. But I would have liked to think if I did choose Duke that I would have still been a pretty accomplished runner. Now I don't think I would have been as good. I think I wouldn't have been an NCAA champion. I don't think I would have been placing or competitive at an Olympic trials if I had gone to a different place, or with a different coach. But I'd still like to think that maybe I'd have an ACC title or two, and maybe an All American. I just think I have a lot of belief in myself that no matter the training system I'm in, I think I could make the most of it. But obviously, Coach Mill got me to where I am, and I definitely wouldn't have been here without him. So, yeah, big props to UNC and Coach Mill.
How many kids do you think just enter the wrong program and that's why they don't experience the levels of success that they probably should?
I think it definitely happens. I'd say it's less often than you'd think, especially with how high schoolers are training nowadays. I think it's easy for these high school kids to say, I ran 356 in high school off of this training. Why would I trust this training? Like I know what worked for me. And I think that's coming more and more apparent, is like they believe that the training that they did is the training that they should be doing. And I think college is a different level. You got to change up your whole thought process. I mean, my training from high school to college was like worlds different, like completely worlds different, but I didn't even bat an eye at it. I just didn't know better. And I'm glad I didn't. Like coming in with just like, yeah, I'm just going to do whatever the hell coach says. Why wouldn't I? I mean, he coached Grant Fisher. I'm just going to shut up and do it. I think a lot of these high schoolers get caught up in like, yeah, this worked for me. I ran 356 off this. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to listen to what coach says. And then they blame the program for them not getting better, or they blame the coach for them not getting better. They don't fully buy into the training. I mean, you see it all the time. Even these programs that you wouldn't say are elite running programs, you get people that really buy in. Like I'll take Alex Phillip, for example. I know you know him. He was at UNC for a year. He was in D3. And I mean, D3, no offense to his coach then, but I don't think that was like super high level, like the
Yeah,
best
no one
training
knows
he
what
could have
John
gotten.
Carroll is unless you're from Ohio.
Exactly. I mean, I think his coach is a great coach, but I think like he was so bought into that training though. He's so bought in and he thought it worked 100%, and it somehow did work. And then when he got to UNC, it was the same thing. He bought into Milt's training and like it just worked because he was fully invested in it. So you see it all the time. I think fully investing in the program you're going to, even if you may think the training's not perfect or you think the coach isn't like fully dialed in on what's right, most of the time I think if you buy in, you're gonna get better. You see it a lot across the NCAA. So that's my bit of advice.
Dude, I've said this to you before. I've said this to Grant before. I've said this to Alex before. I've said this to Elise before. I don't know if Milt just recruits good speakers or if he develops them, but you guys sure know how to talk and give a good, thoughtful response. Man, I don't know if you're on TikTok, but there'll always be like
Of course I
the
am.
late night funds, the depressing, emotional, like what could have been sports stories. And someone's got to make one for Alex Phillips. That 10K outdoors
Oh,
still crushes me, man.
oh my
Still
gosh.
crushes me.
I think about it all the time. Nightmare fuel, man. It's what could have been, right? I mean, if he would have finished that race without falling, he might be a professional runner right now. Who knows?
I know, that's what kills me.
Oh, I know.
He's crushing it though.
He is crushing it. I mean, he just did an ultra the other day, and he's
really?
loving life. Oh yeah, he did like, I think it was a 100-miler. He was.
Dang.
He's an animal, but he's doing great. Yeah. So.
Well, that's where for me my belief in God helps. Where I'm like, okay. So for instance, I want to go D1. If I went D1, I probably would not have had the time to do the podcast because I would have gone all in on my running. So I like to think with those moments, not that like God intentionally made him fall or whatever, but he uses moments like that to then open up different doors. Like you said, he's happy, he's successful now.
He is.
Life is perspective. So you mentioned sort of the difference between high school to college. What's the difference between college to pro? And I'm specifically curious to ask you about this because Milt and Smith are so close with each other.
Right.
And I know they trade secrets. Is there a lot of overlap with the training, or is it pretty different?
It's definitely similar. I think with Milt, it was more of a contained version of what we're doing as a pro in a way where he doesn't want to. You see a lot of times that college coaches try to get like every ounce out of you they can. And I think in certain situations for people who want to get to that pro level and they're not going to get there unless they do that, it totally makes sense. But Milt is so good of leaving some meat on the bone where, when you go to pro, there's still stuff we can work on, still stuff we can do to get better. And so the transition was really, really, really simple. I mean, it's very similar training. I think it's a little more strength oriented with Coach Smith up here, especially being at altitude. So it's a little more threshold work. Definitely doing a lot of double thresholds and throwing in threshold just kind of wherever we can. And so it's definitely different. And if Coach Smith listens to this podcast, I'm not going to tell him that the training is harder. I always tell him it's easy. This training's easy, but it definitely is a step up. Like you're doing more. I'm running more mileage than I ever have, but I'm doing it consistently because we've just got a really good system here where we've got our PT as our strength and conditioning coach, and so he's getting us strong in the weight room so that we can handle all this stuff. So it's a little more strength work, and it's been great. Like the transition's good. We've got a really good setup, and the team's great. So I got no complaints. It's been a lot of fun.
How much of the success would you boil down to trading in UNC classes for Call of Duty?
Oh boy, tell you what, for me, I think it's right now I'm just like sitting at home. I can lay in my bed for the next 5 hours. I can lay in my bed until I got to go back for a second session. And so it makes a big difference. You don't have to walk to class. You don't have to, like, mental stuff is exhausting. You're looking at slides, you're doing homework. You don't realize until you're out of it how much that like took a toll on you. And so now gonna play some Black Ops, maybe. Even that's like a little too stimulating. I gotta like read a book now or just chill or do a podcast. So this it's a good life. I just think you can get a lot more out of your training. And like instead of going to class, you gotta go get treatment instead and just keeping the ball rolling and staying consistent. It's just you get a little bit more of that edge as a pro than you did in college.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how prestigious UNC is, but I looked at potentially applying in high school, and I think acceptance rates like in the 20%, which for a public school is, pretty darn hard to get into. So
it is.
I think people don't realize how prestigious the classwork is and class load is. I have a funny story for you. I was at Nike Indoor Nationals with Nike in March. It was my first time working with them, and Donovan Brazier was there, and I was like, you're trained by Mike now, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, how's it going? And he's like, man, I can't relate to those guys. He's like, that was a different, he was like, that was me 10 years ago. He's like, all these guys in their games, and you guys have a fun little squad going on there. I talked to you and Ethan about it last time we did a podcast, but the group, man, it's evolved, and you guys have killers across the board.
We do. We really do. I mean, it's exciting. Like we got anywhere from 800 all the way up to 10K half marathon now. It feels like marathon with if you include Galen. I mean, he's not around as much. I mean, he's got a kid on the way.
Yeah, do you run with him much?
I haven't run with him in Flagstaff, but when we were in Portland this last week, we were running together. But he's been with Mike for a good bit now, and when he comes up here, I think he's hanging out with the guys and all that. So no, we've got a killer group. It's good because you've got a lot of space you can go. I think in college it was like, I got to go work out with Ethan for the shorter stuff and he may be better. And then Ethan would come and do the long stuff with me. But now it's like Ethan has somebody go down for the shorter stuff. Like he's got, fly and Donovan to do 800-meter work with. Then he's got all the way up to, Woody, who's going to try to do a half marathon, and he's doing 10Ks. And like, there's so much range where you can just like even for me, I can go up and work out with those older guys, or Nico, who's been doing the strength work for a while, or I can go down to all the way down to fly, where he's just gonna just ruin me in the 200. So it's great. I mean, from a training perspective, I feel like we've got a really good dynamic right now of guys on the team and personalities, and it's been, I mean, training is, you never not have a training partner unless you don't want to, unless you're out of town. That's like the only time you don't have a training partner. So that's pretty sweet.
You got to put in a good word with Rupp for me. I texted Mike about getting him on, and he said he'd talk to him. He gave me a nice response. But he's like, Galen's like, I'm sure you feel similarly because we're not too far in age. Galen was like the Mecca growing up. That's like dream podcast guest right there. That guy, I feel like I could talk about the glory days for ages. I don't know if you saw like back in the day, his flow track, like 6 by mile workout after BU.
Yeah, of course. That's like a staple of like, if you were ever on YouTube during that era, you obviously
ball.
Like you saw
ball if you know that
saw
workout.
that workout. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was
100%
ridiculous back in the day.
Yeah, he's insane. How much in the group do you guys talk about sort of training? I know you don't run with Galen a lot, but that sort of substance of like, Liam, you were doing this at Villanova, or, we were doing this at UNC, or Nico, what were you doing at NAU? Do you guys talk about the glory days of college or high school a lot?
It's actually surprisingly little of, I think it's just been easy for us to just buy into what we're doing here. And so there's not a lot of like, man, we used to do this, we used to do that. I mean, there was some, I'm more talking about it with like Coach Smith. He's like, you've never done this workout at UNC. And I'll be like, we did do stuff like this. Like, it was similar. So there's definitely some stuff where we definitely talk about it. I mean, Ethan and I are like, man, we never did this before. And Liam, coming from Villanova, he's a completely different like perspective. He was a lot of threshold training, but like more of like slower, more like contained threshold training. And I think doing this stuff here now, he's like doing a lot faster stuff. We're doing a little bit of just like, speed work once a week, once every 2 weeks. And he asking him, he's like, man, this is just completely different. So we definitely talk about it, but I think most of us are just like, we trust Coach. I trust him. I know the system works. I mean, I came up here because I saw Nico run 12:45, and I said, yeah, that's where I'm going. It's pretty much that simple. And so, yeah, I think we've all bought into what we're doing. And so we talk about it, but it's not like, oh, we did this at UNC, I wish we did this now type of thing, I feel like.
Right. What do you guys talk about on easy runs? What's the general discussion?
A lot of it's right now World Cup. McGregor fight that just happened. We were talking before that. Oh, RIP, man. That was sad.
End of an era.
I'm a McGregor fan. I just think he's awesome. I love the aura, the energy. He's like a scary man, dude. If you saw him on the street, it'd be like, whoa, I'm gonna walk on the other sidewalk. Like, he's just got aura. Yeah, we talk about just whatever's going on, whatever sports. I mean, when NBA was going on, it was NBA. We try to mix it up. I feel like a lot of people, especially in our sport, can't get off the topic of running. It's always like talk about running, which I think I love talking about running. But at times it's nice to talk about, sports, other sports, World Cup, whatever's going on, all that type of stuff. So we got a good array of stuff we get into.
I try to be consistent across my conversations. I'm sure I've said this publicly at some point. Maybe I said it to you and Ethan back in the day. But like, for instance, when I talk shit about internationals and the NCAA and how there are too many, like, I'll ask internationals that question. I'll be like, do you think there are too many internationals in the NCAA? So I'm a straight shooter. Can you explain to me, like I'm a fifth grader, how this Nike Swoosh TC club works and how I can differentiate between the groups? Because I'm very much struggling.
I know. I wish they had made it more clear. Like, I wish they would just post on Instagram, make it this is this. I think the problem that they've run into is with the jerseys. Like, they have so many different colorways out there right now because every group wants their own thing. These sprint groups, and rightfully so. You want to represent your group, but I think there's got to be like a template and like little variations to that, and so that people can like really understand it. But yeah, so from a distance side, it's the 3 hubs. We've got Provo, which is Diljit Taylor. She's coaching. And it's a good majority of like BYU women, but also some other women mixed in. And then you've got Eugene Hub with Jerry. He's a lot of Oregon Ducks, a couple other guys from all around, Justin Knight and Thomas Ratcliffe and them, and then us up in Flagstaff. So we're the third hub, and we've got a good chunk of men, and hopefully growing on the women's side a little bit, but we've only got like 3 women that are officially on the team right now, and got some women that hop in. But no, I think they just gotta. I love the idea behind Swoosh, and like, if we're in Provo, we've got a place to go, we've got a place to train, we got a gym to use, and if they come to Flagstaff or Eugene comes to Flagstaff, they have a place to use. I think it's great. But I think they got to make the lines a little more clear. I think that jerseys would help with that. And like making it like,
yeah,
this
because
is
the unis are the same, right? Or
right.
no?
We've got a different color. So right now ours is like an orange and black, and then Provo has a blue, and then Eugene has a green. And then there's like the regular race day kit for just people who aren't in a group. And then there's a bunch of other colors for all these other groups, and you don't know what the hell's going on. So I just think we gotta have the same template and kind of make it more of like a, you knew when Bowerman was wearing Bowerman uniform. You knew it was Bowerman because it had a B on it, and you knew it was Bowerman. And then everybody else you knew was wearing the regular Nike kit. So I just think it needs to, I think it'd help people just be a little more clear on which group is what, and what uniform is which group, and announcing that would have been really cool, just to make sure people are into it, because I think Swoosh TC is awesome. I really think this could be a really cool thing, like a mesh and network of Nike athletes that are working together. And so they just gotta, keep on it and make it just like a little bit more well known.
Well, the confusing thing too is it's one central Instagram. Like the teams don't have their own Instagrams.
I know, so the guys on the team, we definitely push for, like, I think each hub should have their own Instagram. Like, this is Swoosh TC Provo, this is Swoosh TC Flagstaff, and like our own content. But I think it's very early on too. So like this is all a learning process, I think, for Nike as well as us, of like, this worked and we like this, or this we didn't like this and it didn't work, so let's change it. But
right.
I think they're getting there. At least we got an Instagram up. I'll take that. So.
Yeah, and good content. But like even this, okay, the jersey differentiating that helps a little bit. But like Gracie Morris signed the other day, I could not tell you. I was trying to find out what group she signed to. I could not tell. I literally had no clue.
I know.
I can't tell you.
We don't know either. I know
really?
what group she's looking between. I know she's going to a group. That's why they announced it on there. We just don't know which one yet. So
okay, maybe that's why. Yeah, because I was so confused. They were like, "Oh, signed tonight," and I was like, "But what group?"
I know. I feel like they should have just waited.
Coached by.
They should have waited to announce it until she shows a group, I think. But I guess she was racing at pre, so they wanted to put her in the kit and like get it out there. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
I get it, but I know they should have waited until maybe she decided where she was going. But yeah, I don't think anybody knows right now.
Interesting. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
makes me feel better. Speaking of pre, ballsy move, go to the front. I think the classic commentary, if you're watching these sorts of high level track races, is the guy to go to the front is going to end up in like 5th or 6th. You're going to pull a Cooper tier. You did not pull a Cooper tier. You actually won a race. How'd you feel about that?
Pumped, man. I mean, I think it was one of the best tactical races I've run, possibly in my life, but at least in recent times, of just like, I just thought I ran it really smart and didn't waste a lot of energy. And I mean, Coach and I talked about it before the race. We're like, taking the lead doesn't mean you have to do anything with it, right? Like, just because you're in front doesn't mean you have to go run a 58. You don't have to do that. Take the lead and kind of just see what happens. And once I got up there, I was like, man, I don't really want to be in the mess when it's this slow. Like, I'd rather be up here with clean track and kind of just, I said this in an interview after the race, but thinking about, Mo Farah or like Centro when he won the gold medal, was like, they get to the front and they're matching every move that comes up beside them. Everybody that tries to get in front, they just match it and match it and match it. And that's kind of just what I thought. I was like, you know what, might as well just see if I can just match every move and stay on this inside rail. And I think clean track is worth more than having somebody to pull me along. And it worked out. I mean, I was really, really happy with my last 100. And I mean, obviously it would have been great to run fast. I think everybody was hoping we'd go and try to break an American record or world record or whatever. But, I race to win. I don't race for time as much. And I think the win's more important. I think, if you race for times and you see the clock, you're like, yeah, why am I even running? I'm done. I'm just going to check out. If you race to win, doesn't matter what's on the clock. You're just going to keep pushing throughout the whole race. So, but yeah, I was super happy with it. Big confidence booster going into some late season races.
What does winning feel like? Take me through it.
So fun,
as someone
man.
who will never win pre.
Oh man, it's the feeling you chase. It's why I do the sport. Like sometimes, I mean, even before that race, I'm like, man, like why do I do this? Like this, racing is hard. Training is hard. Like it hurts. You go through injuries. You go through, hard times. Why do you do this? And it's like for that one moment you get when you cross the line first is like it's worth 1,000 miles, 1,000 injuries. It's just you can't find it anywhere else. It's like you were the best on the day, and you ran the smartest, and it's just like, yeah, I don't even know a word to describe the feeling, but it's why I do it every day. I love to win. I love the feeling. I love you know being the best guy on the day, and that's what keeps me going.
When you think to the rest of the season, obviously it's sort of an off year with no Worlds, no Olympics. Does that make you happy in terms of like little lower stakes, sort of a nice first rookie season? Or are you a little sad of like, man, the engine's running hot. I would love a competitive USA's.
No, I think it's great. I think it's a good transition year to not have a like formal world champs or a formal Olympics. I think it just gives us some time to get used to the pro training, the pro life. Obviously I want to compete against the best, and luckily you still can. Like with Diamond League, you got Diamond League final coming up. There's some Diamond Leagues in August I'm eyeing on doing, and they have this World Ultimate Games as well. So while it is a down year of like USA's isn't a big emphasis to like make a team, I do think it's like kind of a good thing for us, especially coming in. And I think there's been a lot of world championships and a lot of major championships the last few years. So it kind of feels like it's just been like go, 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 go every year. And this year you can really just focus on, getting fit, getting a good base, and just racing against competition. Competition you're going to see in 2 years for LA. And so I think it's great. I actually really like having this year be a little less emphasis on like a USA's and just working on, international competition, the guys you're going to see in Olympics and world champs in the next coming years.
Speaking of Diamond League, Europe versus pre and America, what's it been like running in these sort of different stadiums, different atmospheres, even different race distances, 5K versus the 2 mile, sort of soaking up the moments that you used to watch on TV growing up?
It's pretty cool. I mean, the first Diamond League I did was Oslo this year, and that was really cool experience. I mean, Norway was like a really cool place to go. Europeans, they love track, which is so cool. I think, you've got guys hanging outside your hotel asking for autographs. They pack a stadium on a Wednesday night or something. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday night. You never see that in the U.S. I mean, if you told them there's a Diamond League on a Wednesday afternoon, like it'd be tough to want to like fill up that stadium in the U.S. Now, Prefontaine was a great race, and they had a ton of people there, especially the second day. It was friggin' that place was sold out, which was really cool. But yeah, it's great. These like it's just good experience. Like going to Oslo, doing the whole process of traveling, dealing with jet lag, dealing with time zone changes, and still getting on the line and going out at 5K pace that you've never gone out in. And so that was like just a huge learning experience for me, and a ton of fun to race against guys I've never ever lined up against. And I think it's just, yeah, I mean, this is the year to do it. This is the year to do these things, to experience it, so that when you get to world championships, it doesn't feel like you have to step up and do something. So yeah, it's been great. And especially like being here, it was an easy travel, got to race in front of a really cool crowd. And then the next day got to be a part of that really cool crowd. It's been super fun. Like they do such a good job with those events, better than I could have ever imagined. So
I love Graham Fisher, but naturally, I gotta stoke the embers a little bit to grow the sport. You're 2-0 against him this season. I'm sure there's a bit in the back of your head that's like, man, I want to be Milt's top guy one day. How do you feel a 2-0 record rookie season?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, I'm truly like beating anybody over these Diamond League races is huge for me. And I mean, beating your own guy in your country is great. Like I mean, obviously everybody wants to win USA's. It's a great thing, but really where it lies is like you want to beat all the international guys as well as the USA guys. Luckily, the guys that are in the US right now are really, really good. So racing them is the same as racing any of these other guys from other countries. But really, these races are just about feeling out competition I've never felt before, racing against guys I've never raced before, so that when we get to those big ones, it's not a shock in the system of like, holy crap, there's Andreas Almgren right there, there's Jakob right next to me. It's like, yeah, I've raced these guys, I know what it's about. Just treat it like any other day. Treat it like an opening 5K in college when you're racing against Charlotte, UNC Charlotte. So that's really the main thing. But it is good to beat anybody. I'm excited to keep racing and hopefully keep beating people. That's why I do it.
UNC Charlotte, John Carroll, and Cooper Tier have all caught strays in this conversation. I'm here for it. I'm here
Brutal.
for it. Which well, like I want to walk you through this, which all of this, but the past calendar year, I talked to you a year ago. I think you were sort of coming back, but you weren't in full fitness, sort of battling injuries. Trained the fall, good fall. December 6th, you USATF cross country champion. You win that 10K super muddy course, 29:16. Then you're the top American at World Cross Country, January 10th, 12th overall, and 29:28 on a crazy course that they always intentionally make super hard. Diamond League. Well, actually, before that, indoors, you break 13 in the 5K for the first time, 12:59:09. And I think a lot of that race was solo. Outdoors thus far, 4th in the 5K. I think that was your Diamond League debut, 12:49:45, which is one of the top American times ever. And then pre-classic 2-mile champion. Yep. I mean, this is in the span of 8 months. You got to feel pretty good about this, right?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I'm very happy with where the season has gone. The past season, this whole last 8 months has been like better than I could have asked for, just from a training perspective. Like, I'm training healthy, and it feels really, really good to just have confidence that I can handle this mileage and handle this training. I mean, last year there were times where I'm like, am I ever going to be able to handle 80 miles a week again? Can I do that? Like, every time I try, now I'm hurt again. Now I'm hurt again, and it's like, so it definitely can beat you down. Like, you feel like you can't gain traction. And so this fall was like, Coach and I talked about it. Like, let's just gain some traction. Once we got that, it's like, all right, let's just continue to gain traction. And now coming to, we're halfway through outdoors now, and we've gained some traction. And so it's feeling good. Like, it just a lot of confidence from the last bit of racing, especially cross country. Like, that is something I feel like I never reached my full potential in college, especially my senior year, just getting hurt right before NCAAs. I always wanted, like, every kid feels like at least if you're a track or cross country fan, like, NCAA cross is the one you want to win. Like, that's the one I wanted to win so bad. And I never did. My highest finish was 7th. And so felt like a little redemption in the fall, just getting that cross country win and then placing well at World Cross. And yeah, we've just kept the ball rolling, which is really exciting. And I'm just excited where the year is going. And now we're not even finished yet. And we've already had some really good races, really good experiences. And I'm just excited for the late summer and see what it brings. I'm pumped.
I mean, if they were giving out Rookie of the Year awards, if we were actually a structured entity in track, like if the Diamond League gave out Rookie of the Year awards, I think you'd certainly, be in the running to win it. And specifically as an American, like, again, you want to talk sports terms. I can't stand the guy, quite frankly, but like Wemby's, rookie or this past year, people are like, oh, he's the future of the league, which I might debate you on, but I understand where the sentiment comes from. And so for you, I think that's sort of how Americans are viewing you. It's like, this is the next Grant Fisher. This guy, had an incredible collegiate career, and we kind of talked about you in this way, and then you followed through on your first year. How excited are you? You're super young, and you got 2 years to LA.
Right.
It seems like, all directions are in the green. And probably to you, at least for me as an outsider, it's like, man, he did something that a lot of people can't do, which is he bounced back from a ton of adversity. And that's inevitably going to pop up in a career, which, double XP, right? If you're a video game character.
Yeah, man, it's really exciting. I mean, I think it's easy to fall in the trap of like, well, I did so well this year. I just got to keep going, and I'll keep getting better. Like, no matter what happens, I'll just keep getting better. And then all of a sudden you're faced with injuries and adversity. So I think that's what I've learned from those is like, don't get ahead of yourself. Like, you still have to, 2 years is a long time. There's a lot that can happen in 2 years, and it's focusing on each day and each workout and taking care of your body, taking care of your recovery, the mileage, being smart with it. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I feel like I'm really young, and I've definitely got still a really long way to grow. But we're running really well right now. And so it's definitely a lot of confidence. I'm excited to see what we can do, but and I'm also not a Wemby fan necessarily because I'm a Nuggets guy. But I just want to throw that out there. Hopefully the Nuggets have a really good season. Please, please, please don't lose in the first round of the playoffs next year.
I've been slowly getting more and more to the NBA. Normally I tune in when the playoff starts, and I feel like the playoffs get a little more interesting every year. And with all these off-season moves, man, I think the storylines are going to get interesting.
They really are.
What I love is Netflix getting into all these docu-series. I'm behind, but I just started starting 5. And I've really enjoyed that one thus far. Yeah, it's basically this past year they went into SGA's. This was like last year, so when the Thunder won. SGA's, Tyrese. Okay. So they guessed correctly with those two. James Harden, Kevin Durant, and then I think there was a 5th person they followed.
That's
and
sweet.
It's just like I love getting an inside look as to how pros from other sports think and train.
It's really cool.
Hey, if you had to off this subject, if you had to pick 5 distance runners across the U.S. for a similar Netflix style series, who would you pick?
Ooh,
we'll say mile to the marathon. Yeah,
U.S. runners. Definitely not Ethan Strand. So let's see.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, that guy sucks. I would follow around probably Drew Bosley for a day because I don't know what that guy gets up to.
Some banger.
Yeah, I feel like he's got just like something up there that would just be you have to follow him to know. Because I don't know what goes on the 8 hours outside of practice, but he always comes in. You're like, dude, what have you been doing the last 8 hours? Because you've been thinking. So, got to follow around Drew. I'd probably follow around. Oh, let's see, this is good. Graham Blanks. He's just I like that guy. He's a goofy dude. I think he'd be hilarious to follow around. I wouldn't follow around anyone in our house just because we lay around all day. I mean, right now, like I'm just gonna lay in my bed for the next like 6 hours. So film crew would just film me doing nothing. I'd probably say Craig Angles. I mean, not more exciting than that guy, you know. I mean, I see what he does on a daily basis. He's up in Flagstaff these days, and yeah, he's just a goofball. Love you, Craig. Let's see 2 more. I'd probably say maybe like Emma Coburn in that group for a day. I feel like you never know what they're up to. They're up in Crested Butte or
mysterious.
Yeah, mysterious. I feel like I'd tune into that. And then maybe last one, Marco Langen. Come on. I mean,
dude, Marco would be what makes the series go big, bro. Do you talk to Liam a lot about Marco?
We do, yeah, especially early on. I mean, I know Marco relatively well just from being in the sport. Like, you talk to him after races and stuff. But I was like, dude, what is it like living with him? And he's like, bro, it's something else. It's experience you don't get unless you do it. Like, all right. So I think he'd be hilarious to follow around for a day. A little docu-series. It'd be so funny.
Speaking of sort of the group structures, I made this comment to someone in the sport, and I think they agreed. Again, I'm a straight shooter. I say it how I see it. I feel like 5 years back, Bowerman and the OAC were like the premier groups, not just in the U.S., but the world. They're very easy to follow along. Their top people were top in the world. I feel like the U.S. is sort of in this rediscovery chapter where the OAC, I think what they're doing is great. I think they're building, but they definitely, it's not a hot take to say they've at least fallen off in recent years compared to what they were early 2020s. Bowerman no longer exists, sort of gets renamed. These new groups pop up. More and more athletes are going with their college coaches and sort of being independent. Do you think we're going to see an era like BTC OAC again? Or do you think sort of this new structure of like everyone's sort of spread out and there's not like a ton of group success will happen?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, growing up and like seeing Oregon Project, the aura, and like Bowerman, the aura from those groups, like you can't do that if you're just like an individual. Like, it's hard to find that. So I really hope so. I hope Flagstaff, this group, is one of them. Like, I think we have the talent, the coaching, the place to be really like a really cool group in the future. I just think it's all about marketing and marketing it right. And yeah, I mean, man, I do think it'll happen again. I hope it does, just because I think having groups is something that people in the sport can follow and like be a fan of. Like, you can be a fan of individuals, and I think that's great. But I think being a fan of like a team or like a group and having like merch and treating it like another sports team that you would, I think that is something that is underrated in the sport. I think it's so cool. I mean, Oregon Project for years, and then Bowerman, like, you can't recreate that. That's etched into history forever, and I think people always have good thoughts and good memories about those teams existing, and just what they did for the sport. So I hope it happens again. I think being on teams is great, but also I know runners, pro runners nowadays, they want what's best for them, and so you can't force them into a group. So it's just got to happen naturally, which I hope it does.
What is the atmosphere like if I showed up to a track workout with the team?
Hopefully really good. Yeah, I think we got a really funny group. Usually be start off with Abdi Hamid. He's probably yelling, probably making jokes, chattering away. And then you get Ethan coming over telling him, quiet down, buddy. So I think we all have a lot of fun. I think we all keep it really lighthearted because of just how hard the sport is. I think you'd be surprised. I think a lot of people think runners are very like, once you get to the workout, it's like, don't talk to me. I got my headphones in. I'm doing my thing. But we work out hard. Like, this sport is hard enough. Why not make it fun at practice? We're always joking, always having a good time. And I think, yeah, it'd be a blast. If you came to practice, we'd just be joking around and having fun.
I could pace you for 1/400 of a mile rep. That's all I could. That's all I could promise.
We'll
Come through in 59.9.
We'll
speaking of workouts, not without sharing too many trade secrets, what's one workout you left the track like wildly impressed by in your rookie year? And don't give me some
none of them. They're all easy.
Answer.
They're all easy. Coach Smith, if you're listening, all the workouts have been easy. No. Let's think. We did this one. Nico and I did a really good workout down in Cottonwood one night where we were doing this like kind of fartlicking rep where we did a 2 mile. We're like kind of fartlicking 400s back and forth. And then we did a couple more miles at the same thing where, you're fartlicking back to threshold pace and then running like 3K pace for the ons. And that was definitely like a harder, long effort. I think those are my favorite types of things, are like the long, hard efforts where you really have to focus. And you're getting that like VO2 max benefit. So that one was a really good one. I was really happy with that one. Another one, we're doing some like just like speed stuff down in Cottonwood as well. Like, I think we closed our last 400 in like a 51 down there.
Gosh.
So yeah, I mean, stuff I've never done before. We've done some speed stuff in college with Coach Milt, doing stuff with Ethan, but definitely a little step up in terms of pace. So yeah, no, those are two of my favorite ones so far. We've been rolling.
You mentioned the always wanting to win an NCAA cross country title. Sort of the 7th place is your highest finish. If you had to choose one race across any part of your career that you could relive and rerun, which would it be?
That's a good question. I mean, I'd probably just relive my NCAA title, I would think. I mean, that one, all that whole year, my junior year, things were going really well. In great fitness, and came away with the win at NCAAs in the 5. And so I'll probably relive that. That's a good moment for me. Big confidence builder. I think that set up the trials race that I did really well that year. And yeah, I mean, the feeling of winning. I mean, you can't beat it. So
has Nico forgave you for that last one, what you did to him?
Yeah, because he beat me twice indoors that year, so I had to get my lick back. Like, you can't be mad about it, I mean, he beat me indoors, I beat him outdoors. It's all
fair games.
We're all good. Yeah. Now we work together. We're teammates. So
a big theme of this conversation, sort of rookie year mindset, etc. If this was a Netflix documentary and you knew the sport was bigger than it is, and people would look back on your rookie season, what would you say? What would you tell them?
Man, just, I've said it a lot of times, and I feel like I never really fully grasped the idea of like how important consistency is. Like, I always said it just because it was easy to say. Like, it's easy to tell people, oh, be consistent. Like, just be consistent and you'll get good. But it really is the most important thing in the sport. And putting in the work every day, not missing days with injury, sickness. The more days you can stack together, like, you'll be really impressed what you can do. I think you can do a lot more over a couple years than you think you ever could. I think people overestimate what they can do in a season, but they underestimate what they can do in a couple years of consistency. And I think that's really the coolest thing to me about this sport, and what I've learned throughout the last couple years, and especially this year, like learning like how poorly my last year went in my eyes and how bummed I was with it. But like now, I like seeing how important that consistency was for the last 8 months. Like, you're seeing the progress and the consistency before that. I had, let's see, 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, 3 years of college of like full training without any injuries. And how much that compounded, like, just because I had 1 year where I was on and off, like that consistency still carries through to now. And so, yeah, I just think, be putting in the work every day. Like, don't miss days, unless they're prescribed off days. And just trying to, take care of yourself, do the little things. I think you'll be pretty impressed what you can do over a career.
Final question for you to close this one out. Favorite Mike Smithism?
Mike Smithism.
Also, I was going to say about Drew Bosley, I think Mike put like a Mike Smith chip in Drew's brain. Pretty sure they're the same individual.
They feel like, I love when Coach Smith like pauses when he's thinking, because Drew has the same thing. Like, he'll just pause and think. And you're like, what is he thinking about right now?
Well, it's a thing. Like, Cornfield speaks so similar to Smith, and then Ian speaks so similar to Milt. So I think it's, you spend enough time with them.
Right. Totally.
And you get transformed.
I totally agree. Coach Smithism. I thought it was hilarious. He was in the fall. He really loved the Lil Wayne deposition tape, and he was quoting it. He thought it was really, really funny. I think that, and for some reason, that just sticks in my mind. Because I'm like, you think coaches are always so strict, like hit the paces, and then you see him talking about a Lil Wayne deposition and showing us the YouTube video, like before cross nationals. I was like, this is not what I expected. So that's probably my favorite Coach Smith moment. I just think it's hilarious. But he's got a lot of Coach Smith isms. Yeah, he's a thinker. He's a thinker.
Parker, you're a legend. Thanks for the time, man. Keep winning races. Of course. And we'll run it back again soon, I'm sure. And yeah, it's been super fun seeing your success. Not surprised at all. Tell Ethan, tell the boys I said hi, and we'll run it back soon.
I will. All right, sweet. Thanks for having me.